Are you looking to increase your click-through rate on Amazon? If so, then let's dive into what you can do to optimize your title, not only to attract the right kinds of buyers, but to get them into your listing and then, of course, convert them into sales. My name is Emma Shermer-Tamir, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Marketing by Emma. Since 2016, we've worked with over 1,500 brands from all over the world, helping them connect with and convert their dream customers. We have massive experience on Amazon and what it takes in order to be able to really get you to page one and converting as many of the right kinds of customers as possible. So let's go ahead and dive into the do's and don'ts of Amazon listing optimization so that you can really take that listing to the next level. The first thing that I think we need to kind of talk about, sort of identify the elephant in the room is, why does a title even matter in the first place? Do people even read the title? What is its job? And the title is a deceptively complex part of Amazon listing optimization. It looks simple on the surface, but there are many different elements that go into what it takes to craft a winning title, and being able to juggle all of those things simultaneously takes quite a bit of practice and skill. There are a few different elements that go into a successful title. You have your keyword utilization. You also have to keep in mind what type of device a customer is using and making sure that it is optimized both for mobile and for desktop. You, of course, need to be thinking about your product and the relevancy and how customers are going to be searching. And lastly, you need to have a really strong awareness of your competitive landscape, because you need to give people a reason to click specifically into your title versus all of the other listings that are out there. Now, of course, the title isn't the only thing that is helping do that. You also have your main image, your reviews, your price, and where you're actually appearing on the search results. However, the title is actual words that a customer can read to see if what they're searching for aligns with what you're saying your product is. So even if you have a great image, even if you have good reviews, you need to make sure that your title is clearly identifying your product and giving people a reason to click into your listing. So how do you know if your title is good and if it's doing what it needs to be doing? One of the best metrics that you can look at is your click-through rate. So you can see that through your search query performance dashboard on Amazon. That will give you some valuable insights into how you're performing on a multitude of different keywords and where you might need to make some adjustments. Another great thing is the title is one of the best places that you can do A/B testing directly through managed experiments on Amazon. You can experiment with placement of keywords, as well as the types of keywords to use, and even the other types of details that you're including in your title. And of course, the title isn't something that should be static. This is something that you're going to want to be constantly refining and updating as your category changes, as the seasons change, or as any important sort of things happen within your space. So if you have a bunch of new competitors, that might be reason to update your title. If you have some copycats, any of those details are things to consider as you embark on your title optimization journey. So now that we have identified what a title is, why it's important, and sort of how to think about the title, let's get into some of the do's and don'ts so that you can start creating even more effective titles for your Amazon listing optimization efforts. So the first thing, and probably the hardest thing to resist, is don't keyword stuff. Keyword stuffing is going to make your listing very unreadable and not particularly customer friendly. It's going to make it challenging for your customers to be able to sort of pick apart the information they need, and it also just looks sloppy. So let's just take a look at an example that I have right here. So firstly, let's say that I'm searching for a hair drying hood. Now, I actually took this example because this was a search that I was doing last night. And so I thought, what better example to use than for a product that I'm actually looking to purchase myself. So I search hair drying hood, and I have a lot of different options here. Now, just as an aside, something to keep in mind as a customer, this whole search results page is really complicated. And the reason I say that is because these listings look almost identical. All of the images are very, very similar. It's as if I'm not sure whether I'm looking at the same product across multiple different placements or if these are even different products. Everything from the design to the imagery is dig a little deeper, you can see that there are different amounts of reviews, different prices, and different names, but just from the surface level, it is a little bit overwhelming and off-putting. So I've gone ahead and chosen one in particular. This design looks a little bit different, the hair dryer bonnet by Ingaware. And if you look at this title here, it is just a string of keywords. Many of these keywords are exactly the same. Hair dryer bonnet, bonnet hair dryers for women, bonnet hooded hair dryer attachment, extra large. So it's just the same few words on repetition, and they're not even using dashes or anything to separate out the phrases from each other. So it's even more sort of overwhelming and off-putting for somebody that is trying to decide if this is the hooded dryer for them or if they should choose one of the other ones. What's also important to consider, this one has fewer reviews and is a higher price point than its competitors, so it's going up against a lot. So it really needs to be even stronger in order to be able to deliver the results to be successful. So don't keyword stuff. Don't copy your competitors. Again, we were seeing some great examples of what happens when you're copying your competitors. If you look identical to ones that have way more reviews, that have a lower price, then really what you're doing is you're encouraging the customer to purchase from the more established seller, the one that has more reviews, the one that has a cheaper price, the one that seems like it's the desired pick for the majority of people, whether it has that bestseller, top-rated badge, or any of those other indicators that Amazon can give you. Regardless, it's going to be very, very challenging to win that battle if you're just trying to copycat what your competitors are doing. The third thing, don't go after really broad keywords. So if I were to just, in this case, be searching for hairdryer, that could be a really complicated place in order to be competitive for a product like this, because the majority of people that are searching for a hairdryer are looking for a more traditional hairdryer, a handheld dryer, something like a Dyson or by Conair or Revlon that you can take and use a brush and dry your hair like they do at the salon. Well, this is a very different kind of product, and so even though hairdryer applies to it, most people that are searching for that term are not necessarily searching specifically for a product like this. So rather than going too broad, you want to find a way to be able to make it more specific and relevant to your product so that you can get in front of customers that are looking for what it is that you are selling. Don't leave out key information. So there are important details that a customer is going to want to know when they are even deciding whether to click into a listing. Most importantly, they want to know if this item is a fit for the thing that they are looking to buy. So if you aren't including key pieces of information, then you are making an opportunity for a customer to second guess whether you are a good fit for them or not, or if they should in fact click into a competitor's listing that actually is giving them more of that information that's helping them understand that this is the right product for them. So now that we know what not to do, let's talk about what you should do to make a great title. So the first thing is thoughtfully integrate important keywords into your title. So I'm not saying when I say don't keyword stuff not to use any keywords. That is definitely not the case. Keywords are critical. The title has a very big impact on your SEO for Amazon, so don't exclude them, but just use them thoughtfully. Integrate them in a way that you are using those highly relevant, highly valued keywords, but in a way that's also allowing the customer to be able to get a full and complete understanding of what the product looks like. So that might include casting a little bit of a wider net in terms of the keywords that you're using, so that you're not just repeating the same phrase over and over and over again, like that example that I gave you. Choosing hyper-relevant keywords is super important for a couple of reasons. So one is you want to make sure that if somebody is searching for a product that you are the best choice for, that they know that and that they are going to want to click directly into your listing. This is really all about positioning our product. So even if your product could fit for a wide use case, something like this hair drying bonnet could be used by any hair type, that's great, but maybe there's a more specific type of hair type or customer that you could target to set yourself apart and to capture a nice chunk of the market share. Include the need to know information. So what are the pieces of information that a customer is going to need to confidently see right from the get-go in order to want to click into your listing? So whether that's the materials, whether it's what it's compatible with. In the case of this hairdryer bonnet, it would be really helpful to know that this is an attachment to a hairdryer, or if it's a standalone bonnet, because those are two very different kinds of products that would be used in two very different types of scenarios. Also has a very different end user in mind, because maybe somebody that's looking for just the attachment has a really small space, doesn't have a lot of extra storage, whereas somebody that would be looking for the full setup, perhaps it would be nicer for them to have something that's a little sturdier that they can sit their head underneath, but that has all of its other considerations as well. So what does all of this require? It requires a really solid understanding of who your customer is and what the competition is like, and how to be able to position your product for maximum success. So there's a lot that goes into strategic positioning. If you are interested, I would be happy to make a video that dives into what you can do to really think broader and more creatively in order to position your product so that you can be competitive even in very saturated markets. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please let me know. If you have any other questions, thoughts, or ideas about what it takes to create a winning title or anything else related to the world of Amazon and e-commerce, I'm all ears. And of course, if you would like our help identifying whether your listing has what it takes to be successful, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy to give a free listing analysis where our team here at Marketing by Emma will take a look at your listing and identify what some key opportunities are for you to be able to take your listing to the next level. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.